Hello everyone. Welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome all. Hi. This is a shifting video. I know you guys haven't gotten a video in a while. I've just been really exhausted. Shifting makes you more tired than you normally are. I was already tired from work, so I didn't want to just jump into the shifting afterwards. And it's been a really hard week for me. I must say it's been a pretty hard week. Um, there's been a lot going on in the world as we know it. There's been a lot of attack on like on the Asian community. And I think I'm just in like I knew this went on, but it is really like baffling to me because like I don't really know how to respond to it. Um the most we can do is love and help each other. We shouldn't be concerned about what someone's race is. More so what's on the inside. And I think these people who attack these other people, they have the intent to kill them. And I feel like it's not okay because nobody should be okay with killing anyone ever. Um, so my series is gonna be comforting me today while I tell you guys what happened. I've discovered a new level of madness in Toshinori. I am gonna jump right into the video because I needed to tell you guys exactly what happened right away. I did shift there. Also, you might hear noise in the background. It's quiet in the house. Am I forgetting to tell you guys anything else before I start? I hope I didn't give away any spoilers in the video. I was really careful not to put too much. I tried to put too much information, but I want to put enough for you to think about in the thumbnail. Um, so I shifted to Toshinori's house, and the routine is exactly the same. I go in, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get this extravagant breakfast. I'll get to make out with him a little bit, or kiss him, and all this. And when I get inside, Toshinori is just like, "Oh, cotton candy doll. Hello." I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And he's like, "Good." And I look at the table and he's like, "I didn't make you breakfast today." And I'm like, "Okay, you didn't make me breakfast. Okay, well." And I'm like, "Oh, and you're all dressed and everything. You're getting ready to like leave." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving. Um, I'm getting ready to go to the school." And he has this smile on his face, guys. Then he leans forward and he kisses me. I mean, he kisses me like, I don't know, guys. He kissed me like I was like he was never gonna see me again, or like um it's like the never mind. I don't know how old the people are watching this. Anyway, it was like a magical kiss basically. And so he let go of me and I kind of stumbled a little bit. I'm like, whoa. I was like, are you like in a really good mood today? And I'm looking around again, guys, because there's like no coffee. There's no like food or anything. And he decided not to make me breakfast today. So I'm just like, okay, well, I wonder what's happening here. And I didn't get depressed right away. Um, but it just felt so like desolate and different. And now he's telling me he's gonna leave. So I'm like, still, I was like, "You're getting ready to leave," and he's like, "Yeah." Then he goes, "So," I was like, "You expect me to wait here for you until you get back? Because I just got here and I want to see you." And he's like, and so then he's like, "Yeah, I was waiting for you, and you didn't come. You didn't come to me." And I was like, "Oh," and I've been meaning to talk to him about something because guys, something has to change in our relationship. Like, I thought I was okay with just being able to come and see him in the morning time, but I just don't know how I feel about that anymore. I don't really know how I feel about our relationship with when it comes to growing. His thing is completely different from mine, like his method and all that. And there's nothing that can really change my mind right now, but I feel like I need to voice my opinion. So I go to Shinari, um, I need to talk to you about something. It's really important. And he's like, can it wait? And I said, no, I need to talk to you right now. And he goes, okay, what is it? And he kind of like he steps up to me, so he's like towering over me. And I'm looking up at him and I'm like, Toshinori, I think it's best if I think it's best. And he like puts his finger in front of my mouth. He's like, don't you say anything else. I'm like, well, I need to finish talking to you. He goes, no, you don't. You don't need to finish saying any of that. And I was like, I just wanted to say that. I think it's better. And he like covers my mouth. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't want to hear those words from you. What words? Like, you didn't even get to hear anything I had to say. I'm like, I was good. I was just, he removes his hand. I'm like, I just, he was like, no. I'm like, what, Toshinori? Like, what the hell? Like, this is very rude. And I'm getting irritated. You sitting, cutting me off every second. It's not a good thing. It's rude. He's like, I forgot to mention that you get to come to the school with me today. And I'm like, I'm not coming to that school. Principal Nezu hates me. I also did something wrong there, and I knew I did wrong there. That was just, I really thought about it later. I kind of did like a jerk move. That was an asshole move, doing all that, messing up this gym like that. I knew what I was doing, guys. I'm not like 5. I knew what I was doing, so I just wanted to be like an asshole because he was being like an asshole toward me. And I knew the kids wouldn't be able to resist it once they started. It's just in their nature. They're not old enough to have that kind of logical thinking yet. And even if they do, they have an authority, someone over them telling them it's okay and assuring them that they're going to do it. Like Ida, for example. Ida probably would never go for that, right? Exactly. Toshinori like kind of pushes me back, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he takes out a note and he hands it to me. And I open it, and it's an apology letter from Principal Nazu. And the letter says like, I'm going to just basically describe it in a nutshell. Okay, he said he is so sorry for not giving me a second chance, and that he shouldn't have just jumped to conclusions based off of one mistake or one screw up. That's what Principal Nesbitt said to me. He said he shouldn't have judged me based off of that. He just assumed that because anyone can make a mistake, and it's okay because we're human. So guys, I feel like this is like weird to me. Why wouldn't Principal Nesbitt say that after everything he said? You guys heard what he said to me. I was literally crying afterwards, and I've never cried before. Like, not about, let me move this over, sorry. I hope my screen didn't, like, mess up because of that. So I look at Toshinori, and I'm like, and like, a smile kind of creeps on my face. And he's like, I was like, okay. I was like, so he, like, forgives me. He's like, you get to come to the school today. That's why I didn't make breakfast. I'm like, oh, I thought you didn't make breakfast because you thought I wasn't going to come. And he's like, I knew you would come no matter what because you love me so much, don't you? Because I love you and I'll always love you. And he like leans in and he kisses me. So then we're like walking up to the school together and like we're walking beside each other. And I'm like looking at him at the corner of his eye. And his head is kind of like this, like kind of down. And he's like staring at the ground. He's like, he kind of has like a worried look on his face. And I'm like, what is he like? Is he like afraid of something or what, And then he takes my hand and he's like holding my hand. He's not just holding my hand, he's like rubbing his fingers over like my knuckles, like kind of caressing my hand. But he's doing it in like a lustful way. Dang it, you guys might hear the ducks. I'm sorry. Quack, 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 quack. Yes, I know. That's how they communicate. I can't be mad at them. Probably calling their friends this morning. Anyway, oh, it got quiet. Okay. It just flew away, I guess. It just flew. And we were walking, we're holding hands. He's like, his face is kind of like blushing, and I'm like, he's so really, where are they even going? Okay, so then he's like so adorable, guys. He's and it's just like, but him caressing my hand in like the lustful way he was, I kind of like tried to snatch my hand away, but he still held on to it. And I'm like, Tushinori, please. I'm like, be normal while we're here. We're going to school, it's full of kids, you know. And he's like, we're kind of early, no one's really here yet except like the teachers. So I go, okay, well, I'm like, whatever, okay. So we're walking up to the school, we get inside, and he's like, he's like, let's go to the cafeteria. I thought there were no students here. He's like, there's not. It's just, he's like, we can have breakfast here. I thought we could sit down in like the teacher's lounge. You, me, and Principal Nezu, we're gonna have a conversation because we need to address some things. So secretly, I feel like relieved because I feel like Yoshinori is like probably defending me. He's probably, he's gonna talk to Principal Nezu and like, I don't know if he's gonna give him a mouthful. I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't know what Principal Nezu is gonna say to me. I don't know if like I just don't know what's gonna happen in this couple of minutes or how long we're gonna have our breakfast in there. But I did come there starving, so my stomach was rumbling. I mean, every time I come there, like he feeds me usually. To like, so we get in there and he's like, all we have is for breakfast are these like muffins. They're like packaged muffins. And he goes, what kind do you want? I said blueberry. So he's like, they don't have any blueberry. I said, do they have strawberry muffins? He goes, no. I'm like, blackberry. He goes, bingo. And he gets, I'm like, blackberry is my favorite. And he's like, okay. So blackberry is my favorite fruit, guys, if you don't know. Okay, it's my favorite fruit. They don't really have blackberry muffins anywhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd have to go to like Trader Joe's, one of those like really organic stores to find like something like that. It's just kind of to me something exotic. It's that it's like blackberry pie because you're not gonna find it. I love blackberry pie. It's really good. Um, some people don't like blackberry. I would say strawberry is my next favorite, but honestly, unless you get the season right, it's pretty bitter. But I like to make strawberry shortcakes and stuff like that with like whipped topping. Ooh, that's good, right? I usually use like a Cool Whip for like my topping. I'm so excited about. Anyway, I gotta do that this year too. Maybe I'll do that. So, where was I? Sorry, I just went completely away from the story. I thought it was weird. It was in like a really nice packaging. It had like blackberries on it. Just weird. We're leaving out, and he's like, "Are you gonna get like milk?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't like milk. I don't drink that." And he goes, "Well, they have almond milk here." I'm like, "Almond milk?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "They have vanilla almond milk?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Here." He gives that to me. Okay. I take them. I'm like, "Thank you, Toshinori." And I'm just looking like, this is so weird. So I'm just staring at him, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "Nothing." So we walked to Principal Nezu. We're sitting down. Principal Nezu was like, "Good morning, Cotton Candy. Did you get my apology letter?" I'm like, "Yes." I said, "Thank you so much for apologizing." And he goes, "Oh, you're welcome." He goes, "Are you gonna apologize to me?" I'm like, yeah. I think I deserve to apologize to you. I'm sorry for letting the kids, mess up the gym." And he's like nodding his head, guys. He like agrees with me. He's like, very good. You knew what you did wrong. I was like, I sort of did it in a way like to get back at you because I knew you guys would have to clean it. I knew even if they made the kids clean it, that stuff would have taken a while to clean up. It was not going to be over in like a day. Okay, a Splatoon battle inside of a gymnasium. Can you imagine like the lawsuits if they hired people to come clean for them, falling and tripping all in the paint? Anyway, honestly, I had the idea of coming over there myself, but I wonder if there's someone there with a quirk who could just snap their fingers and make all of it be gone. I have no idea. So Principal Nez was sitting across from me, and he's like, "Cotton candy now." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, so I've decided that I'm not going to completely take you off probation, but I will let you be a teacher at the school. And starting today, you're going to just go around. You're going to check all the classrooms. You're going to make sure all the lesson plans, everyone has their lesson plans on their desks. So you're basically going to hand it out." So basically, what this is like pre-made lesson courses. You basically get them when you start teaching, or it's your first year of teaching, until you can start coming out with your own stuff. They provide you with the way they want you to teach you. It's basically like a school curriculum that they give you to hand out to all the teachers, not the students. So the work goes on the desk. Okay, you go over what you have to do, and he says if anyone calls in or anything like that, you will be taking over their class. Like this is legit. Like you're going to be in front of the class, whoever it is. So it's probably a good idea if you take a look at all the lesson plans that are there and decide which one you want to teach from. But also remember what level your the kids are going to be at. I'm like, oh God. So I could very well be teaching kids that's like 17, 18. Well, 17 going on 18. And I don't really have that kind of experience yet. I mean, the youngest experience I have is my kids, the youngest kid I've ever had, youngest student I've ever taught, had just turned 2. Like literally just turned 2 years old. And the oldest kid I taught had just turned was 12 going on 13. And that was just in a different school setting. Um, this is like before the pandemic or whatever. So back to what he was saying. So he's like, I was like, don't you need like a bachelor's degree to be able to teach like the I said that's why I was only doing like substitute stuff and I could teach. He goes, all of the and then he goes, all of the work is in the packet. Everything is there. And you also have a book. It has all of the stuff. But he basically just completely like dodged my question. So I'm like, okay. And then like I feel Toshinori's hand on my thigh. And then his hand is going lower and I'm like, so Principal Nezu's talking to me and um Toshinori has his hands on me, kinda he's like touching me and I'm trying to like I'm like, okay, well, let's go. And I like get up abruptly and I kind of like and then Toshinori is like, you didn't even eat your breakfast yet. You didn't even open up your blackberry muffin. Don't you love them? Don't you love blackberries? I'm like, yeah. The principal Nezu is like, I actually wasn't done talking yet. There's still a lot of explaining I have to do. So I sit down, and when I sit down, I kind of kick Toshinori a little bit, and he like laughs. And Principal Nezu's like, what? I'm like, nothing. I'm like, he's just laughing at me. It's an inside joke because I have to make up something, guys, so that way he's not like suspicious of us. I don't know. So I open up my muffin and I'm like biting out of it, and Toshinori's hands are back on me again. So I kick him. And Principal Nezu's like, do you have some kind of like problem or something? Do you have like and I go, yeah, I actually don't like to sit down for like a long time. I can't sit for a long time. So Principal Nezu goes, if you want, we can like walk around and stuff. I said, yeah, let's do that. And Toshinori's like, he like kind of like does like this little groan. And I'm like, what? Does your tummy hurt? I was just like, and he's like, I'm gonna walk with you guys. So we're walking, and so Principal Nezer's just explaining everything to me. We're walking outside. Um, there's like a track, and then you can see like in the distance, you can see like a fence here, and like there's a whole area like surrounding the school. That way, I guess like predators don't get in and try to come after the kids or something, pedos or anything. So we're like walking around, and I see someone like standing in a distance. I don't know who this person is, but like they have like wild hair and like they're just staring at us. He's wearing like a jumpsuit kind of. And I'm like, okay, and I'm looking over and Principal Nezu goes, what? And I'm like, the guy over there, and he looks over there and the guy's like gone. And he's like, what? I'm like, I saw something over there. He goes, oh, that might be the janitor. There's a guy here. We like hired him to clean and he looks like completely like so the guy looks pale, okay? He's wearing like a pale jumpsuit, his hair is pale, his eyes, everything. And they said that Principal Nezu said that he can take on color or something, depending on what he does. So I think that's a weird quirk. So Toshinori is like walking on the other side of me and he's holding my hand. And again, he's like playing with my fingers and trying to, just trying to be like as lustful as he can when you're walking to someone and talking. I don't know. So I'm like, so Principal Nance is like, that's basically the rundown. You got it. And all he told me was, make sure that all of the numbers are right in there. Make sure all of the seating charts correctly. You're gonna set all this stuff up. That way you're still working because. And I'm like, when will I So I asked the most important thing you asked that anybody should ask in a job. I asked like, so how much is are you gonna? I was like, what's the salary here? And he goes, the salary is not based off of a normal salary. It depends on like days or whatever. And he's like, so you get paid like so the teachers pay there is obviously better than here. You get paid every day or something like that. When you start working, you get paid every day, so you always have money. And that's awesome. Like I think they should do that for us here. So then he's like, okay, well if that's all, I'm gonna leave you to it. When you're done handing these out, you're free to do whatever you want. You can roam the school, you can, look around or do whatever whatever you need to do. Toshinori, you can go with her if you want. He's like, your class isn't gonna be here. I figured you just wanted to come with her, to help her out with this stuff, and maybe she'll be able to get done faster and have some free time after, and then we can talk again if you want. I think I remembered everything I was supposed to tell you, so you're good to go. That being said, so I was like kind of excited. I was like beaming. I was like, wow, Toshinori. He's like, yeah, isn't that great? He's like, congratulations for you. He's like, good for you. So we're walking, we're holding hands, and I'm like, can you be normal, please? And he's like, I just have to touch you. I'm like, by the way, while we're alone, I can finish saying what I was gonna say. He's like, what? I'm like, back at the house. He goes, don't say it right now. I don't want to hear those words. Why don't you want to hear these words? They're your words. They're for you. And he's like, I don't want to hear them. I said, I think it's better if, and then he's like, oh, there's something I want to show you over here. I'm like, well, fine. if he doesn't, whatever. So I'm following him and we're walking into this different part of the building. Everything is like glass. It's glass on both sides. And on this side next to it, there's like a door. Toshinori goes up and he like twists the knob and he's like, oh, it's locked. And I'm staring at it and I'm like, this room looks so familiar, guys. And he's like, why don't you go into the room? And I look at him, I'm like, so I'm staring at the door, this brown wooden door. And I'm trying to like decipher what's on the other side because there's no light coming from there. It's just dark. It's like blackness. And I'm like, Toshinori, I don't want to go in here. And he goes, why? And I said, I think I know what's behind this door. And he goes, tell me what you think is behind the door. Tell me what you think is there. I was like, a pile of books. And he's like, a pile of books. I said, mm-hmm. And there's a desk too. I was like, it's a weird feeling being in here because I know I've been here before. And he opens the door and we walk in and there's a pile of books, a ton of books, okay? And the books are not, okay, so there's shelves, okay? It's like a library, but it's like a library compacted into a tiny room. So there's books, their books are like stacked, okay? Different kind of books. And then there's shelves on each side. So there's one on this side, one on this side. And at the very front, there's a desk. The desk has a bunch of papers and all types of stuff on it. So I go, Toshinori, what is this room? What is this? I'm like, this is like a mini library or what? And he goes, this is my new office. I'm like, this is your office, this room here. He's like, yes, this is my office. And you get to be the first one to come inside. He's like, Principal Nezu hasn't even been in here yet. So I'm like, oh God, he hasn't. I'm like, well, I'm looking around and he's like, go in, go have a look if you want, you're free to roam around. The room isn't that big anyway. So I go in and the room is the size of like, how big is it, guys? I'm trying to think of a way to explain it to you to where you can understand like how small it was. It wasn't tiny, but it wasn't big enough to be like a library. It's like they took this big office and they put a bunch of stuff in there and then plopped his desk right in front of the door. And it's not open. To go inside, you have to actually open the door. There's no windows. And there's nothing like that, guys. So also, I forgot to keep track of like the time, so I don't know how long this video is gonna be. So Toshinori, he's like, have a seat at the desk if you want, and I sit at the desk. I'm like, okay, I'm like, this is actually pretty uncomfortable sitting there. You've got his desk, which is there, okay. The desk is like a metal desk, guys, and it's just flat. There's really nothing there. There's not really nothing on there. On the side, there's like two drawers coming down, and the other side is just one drawer. And then it's just, okay, so it's one drawer, and then like that, like rectangle, okay? I don't know how to explain it to you guys, how dull and how unusual this felt, but it also felt very nostalgic and very like familiar to me because I felt like I've been there before. I had definitely have. And it was not Toshinori's office, I don't think either. It was something else, but I just don't remember. I can't put my finger on it. So Toshinori's like, how do you like the desk? I'm like, I was like, the desk is okay. I mean, I thought you would have had something more extravagant. He's like, I haven't had a chance to like decorate it. I'm like, you haven't? He's like, this is my first time actually coming into this room. But I wonder something. How did you know what was behind the door? How do you know about this? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I have no idea. And I'm staring at him. He's staring at me. And I'm like, what? And he like smiles. I'm like, what, Toshinori? What is it? I'm like, oh, since we're in here, I need to tell you. And then he like walks up and he starts like kissing me. So now he's stopping me from talking. He doesn't want me to tell him whatever I want to say. And the thing is, like, you shouldn't cut me off like that. You should at least just hear me out, like, hear what I'm trying to say. I don't like being cut off. Like, I think my biggest pet peeve is being, like, ignored or, like, not listened to when I'm trying to tell someone something important. Anyway, so Toshinori is, like, making out with me, and then, we get to the desk, and he's like, the desk is, like, behind me, and I'm like, Toshinori, not here, you know? And he's like, we still have some time before the students get here. And I was like, what if a teacher walks in on us? And he's like, no one's going to walk in on us. I go, what if Principal Nezu comes and finds us in here? What if I just have all these what ifs? What if this happens? What if that? And he's like, none of that's going to happen. He's like, the door is locked. I locked it when you came in. Of course you locked the door when I came in, of course. Toshinori, because that's just what you do. You do stuff like that. Like it's not creepy or something. You know. Yeah, I think I want to hold him. I think I feel better holding him. So like we're on the other side of the desk and he's like, I can't take it anymore. Can't get it. I'm like, what? He's like, I have to. And I'm like, you have to what? And he's like taking his shirt off and I turn around, I'm like, whoa, I'm like, don't I was like, you can't take off your clothes in here. And he's like, this is my office, I can do whatever I want. And I was like, you can't do this to me though. And he like turns me around and like he doesn't do it hard. He like pushes me against the desk and I'm like, get the mental image of me laying like this on the desk, like flat, okay? And like, I had on a dress and I was wearing, panties under it and stuff because I'm at the school. What the heck? I'm not gonna come there like half naked. And I wasn't expecting anything to happen. So of course, Toshinori, the first thing he does is grabs the string on like my panty and like snatches it and it like rips. And then, so he's not wearing a shirt and he's not wearing pants. I have on a dress. And like, so my hands are dangling over the desk. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, Toshinori, stop it. I'm like, we can't do this here. And he's like, we He's like, we can. And I'm like, Toshinori, he's like, like, are you really like telling me not to do this right now? Are you really protesting right now? Protesting this right now? After the type of time I had with you for like the past couple weeks, you're really gonna protest right now? And I'm like, he's like, nope, don't say anything. And he's like, now I need you to relax. And I'm like, how am I supposed to relax this way? You know, we're at the school. We might be in your office, but we're still at the school. He's like, don't worry, like it's gonna be fine. And he like goes to my ear and he's like, he whispers in my ear and he's like, what's behind? He has his hands like wrapped around me. He's like behind me, and he's like, just relax, relax, you'll be fine. He's like, you need this, and I was like, no, I don't. I was like, I don't. I was like, I don't need this, and he was like, yes, you do. He's like, you're gonna feel it, and I was like, are you gonna be like? I was like, are you gonna be like kind of rough with me or what? I mean, I was like, you can't be too rough because you know, like I'm loud and I don't want anyone to hear. And he's like, there's no students here. You don't need to worry about that. You're gonna be fine. He's like, you need this. He's like, do you want to cry? I'm like, no, I freaking hate crying. Like, I don't want to cry. And he's like, I feel like you're so uptight. Um, and I want to relieve your stress. So then he like bites on the like the top of my ear a little bit, and then he like his lips are moving down. He's like kissing my neck, and and so like he starts like to enter. So he's like hitting me from the back, and like we're in his study, and I'm trying to like be quiet, but I can't move because the way my hand is, his weight is on me. And the thing is, like, I'm really glad there's no one here right now. Like, I'm glad there's no kids, because if they happen to like, imagine if Madurio walked into my office and saw us like that. I mean, he's old enough to where he'll understand what the heck's happening. He's gonna know what was going on, and he's gonna be freaking traumatized. And you have kids that are like 4 and 5. Say like you were at your house or some crap. You can easily lie and say like, "Oh, daddy fell, mommy fell down. Daddy was just helping her up," and it's gonna just look innocent to the little kid because they don't know. But these are like high school kids; they're gonna know what's going on. So he's like waist deep in me. He's like pounding away, and I gotta say, oh, it felt so great. I was like, I didn't realize how loud I was like screaming, and then like, so like Toshidori is like I can feel his like the roughness of him. I can feel like his strength behind me. I can feel how strong he is. And he's like groaning. He's like, ugh, every time. And he's like, and I'm like, so we're like together in like a harmony. And it's like this, like that. And then he's like waist deep and his door, the door freaking opens. Guys, Principal Nezu freaking walks in. And I'm like, Toshinori, I thought he said he freaking locked the door. I'm like, Toshinori, stop. Stop, Toshinori. And he's like, still like, so then Toshinori doesn't stop, just slows down. And Principal Nezu comes in and he's like, in a school of all places. And I'm like, Toshinori, stop. He goes, Cotton Candy Da. I forgot to tell you. He's like, I forgot to tell you something. So, Toshinori, when you're done with her, just, he's like, you got that? And I'm like, I can't really answer him. I'm trying. He's like, you can at least answer me in like a normal voice. I'm like, get out. And then Toshinori's like, yeah, I'll send her to you when I'm done. And then Isabel Nezu like leaves out. But he had like this look on his face, like this. He kind of like smirked when he turned around. And I was kind of like scared. I'm like, Toshinori. And he's like, Cotton Candy doll. He's like, I told you he would be fine with it. I'm like, you never told me he would be fine with this. You never told me he'd be okay with this. He's like, he knows we're dating, so it's okay. And so now I'm kind of like, I wasn't turned off because it wasn't enough to turn me off. I was too close. My climax just kind of dropped a lot at the shock and surprise of Principal Nezu seeing us in that state. You know, he couldn't say she was falling over the desk, so I was trying to pick her up naked. You know, like what are you gonna say to that? Oh, it was so good though. And I was like, I can't. I was like, Tushionary, I can't do this here. He was like, you can't. You're gonna do it here. So he kept going, and it took like a really long time. And like he covered up my mouth a few times because like I was like screaming. And when we were done, he was like, "All right, so," and I was kind of like, I was kind of in this like, "Don't touch me" mood after that. Like, whatever, man, you got us caught. It's your fault. Like, and I was like, I need to talk to you too. I'm not gonna let this go. And he's like, whatever. You know, you don't need to let it go. Just he's like, what do you want to tell me that's so important? And he starts getting this attitude, and I'm like, so he folds his arms. He's like, what? I was like, I think it's better if you just stop like trying to like. And then he pulls me in his arms and he like kisses me again. And I'm like, every time I try to tell you, you make out with me, so I like forget. What do you think I'm gonna say to you? Do you think it's that bad? Whatever I have to say. Like, come on, Toshinori. And then Toshinori's like, if you want, you know, I'll finish handing out like the papers to everyone. I know that you're probably like in some kind of state of shock since Principal Nezu came and saw you. And I'm like, yes. And now I don't really know how to face Principal Nezu. I really don't know what to do because he saw me. Like he didn't see me, but he saw what Toshinori was doing to me. And I'm glad I wasn't like, I'm glad he didn't completely like rip my clothes off and I was like naked completely. Because then, you know, I would have been really, I was already really, I was mortified, guys. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what, Toshinori, I'm just gonna leave. I'll tell you, I'll say what I have to say when I come back. He's like, when are you coming back? And he's like walking toward me. So I'm like backing up toward the door and I'm like, I'll be back soon. And he goes, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'll be back soon. Don't worry. And I'm like, yeah. And then like, he's like, I'm like, so then I'm like backing up toward the door and I'm just thinking like, I don't want to see Principal Nezu in the freaking hallway. Like, what if I see him? And I'm like, no, I have to go. Like, I have to leave out of this. I thought about, you know, maybe I should shift out, but I didn't want to shift out in front of Toshinori. And so, like, I opened the door. And of course, Principal Nezu he's like leaned up against the side of the wall. I walk out and he's there and he's like, he goes, are you done? I'm like, and then Toshinori comes up, he just opens the rest of the door and he's like, oh yeah, he goes, Toshinori, he's like, if you're gonna be with that rough with her, at least cover her mouth, because I could hear her all the way from my office. He goes, Cotton Candy, I forgot to give this to you. And he gives me this badge. It's got like my name on it. It says like teacher. It says like um something, what does it say? Kind of teacher, not substitute. It says something on it. It means like I get to switch out with whoever, but it's basically like my employee ID. He hands it to me. And so like I want to put it on, but I need to go. I did not need to be right there right now. So I leave out, I run back to Toshinari's house and I shift out from there. But like, man, I'm just like I get here and I like take a bath, guys. Take a bath and my bath was so long. I was literally sitting there, I'm just like, I can't believe that freaking Principal Nezu saw us. Are you guys coming back again? Great. You probably heard ducks on this video. Or you didn't hear any ducks. I don't know. I can't tell sometimes when I record the video. I have no idea, but that's some great advice, man. Do you know that? That's some great advice. I feel like I want to burn down Life's house right now. Oh my gosh, guys. Whenever I shift somewhere, I'm always like super tired. You're going to be tired if you shift, okay? You're not going to be well rested. You're not going to be like, oh, I just feel great today. Because for me, using my energy just drains me. The energy comes from your core and it drains you. Sometimes if it hurts, like, depending on like what I'm trying to do, it's really difficult to like use your energy in that way. And but you can do it with practice. I mean, that's the only way I can do it to where I'm just comfortable and safe when I shift somewhere. I do want to do a video, another one on shifting, and I'm gonna try different methods people are using. I'm actually starting to see like people saying they use this method, they use that method, they did this and it was so great and they were able to do everything. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I do have control of what I can do if I'm like actually asleep and I get pulled somewhere. Maybe I can actually control it. Although I've never been able to control the outcome for the situation. For me anyway. That's just my experience. Your experience might be different. I don't know. I don't think any of their methods are wrong. It's just different from mine. But I'm a different type of shifter altogether. So I really only shift to Toshinori's house. That's why you guys only get videos on Toshinori. I might go to Shugochara. I've been wanting to go there for a while. I don't want to happen what happened to me to happen like it was with Digimon, um, where I just become like a creature. So I think I want to shift there as Hino. Do I want to shift there as Hino? I think so. I don't know. um, what was I talking about before? I was talking about shifting today. I was talking about the Asian hate crimes. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening so much now. It was happening before, but now it seems like it's happening more. And these people are actually Asian American. China is like a foreign country to these people too, just like it is for us, for everyone else who grew up here, because we're all the same. I don't really see why this is an issue. Like I don't see why people are feel like it's okay for them to try to hurt someone else. Like what gives you the right, the nerve of you, shame on you for that. Shame. Shouldn't do that. What was it, the Vatican? I don't know why I keep thinking the Vatican. I keep thinking the Vatican are like vampires. Like no, I don't mean like I think they're vampires. I mean like okay, so have you guys seen Twilight? Do you know who like there's this group of vampires, they're called like the Folk Three or something. For some reason I keep thinking that when these people say Vatican, I immediately think of like the Folk Three group, like the high group that tells people this is the way it's supposed to be. Okay, those people, like the Pope. They said when there's an issue, like when there's a problem like this, what you do is you call it out for what it is. You call it out for being wrong. And if that person actually has good value, if they're actually, if they grew up with values and morals and right and wrong, and then they will feel guilty. And with guilt comes, feeling ashamed and having shame. And that's really big with me. It's really old time, but it's big because that's going to shape that person as they grow, the decisions they make. They do something good or bad, right or wrong. You know, um, you have the weight of good and evil, and it's like even when I used to teach my class, my students, I never let them like hit each other or fight. I stopped it right away, and I would ask them, are you a good boy or a bad boy? Are you a good girl or are you a bad girl? And they would say I'm a good girl, and I'm like good. Then be that kid that's gonna do the right thing, and not that kid who's gonna do the wrong thing. Like honestly, our society, our future, it starts with the kids, with the little kids. when they grow up and everything. I actually like the older kids. I liked working with the older kids a lot better. I just had more freedom with them. And we can get away with so much more because we could clean up. Whereas to me trying to do something with the kids, I'm not supposed to. Like for example, we were outside and they had it was like 102 degrees. Just to turn to a whole different story time, right? It was 102 degrees, okay? And the teachers are like, we want you guys to go outside. And the thing is, like, they didn't want to, they gave us water, but if it's like 100 and some odd degrees, these kids are not really old enough to be out here that long. They can't be outside that long. So they gave us a spray bottle with like water, and they were like, just spray the kids down if you see them starting to turn, their face starting to turn red, or they look like they're getting overheated. And I looked at them and I said, no. If they get over, if they start to look like they're too hot, we're coming back in out. We're coming back in because you don't want to be responsible if someone's child overheating. Are you kidding me? They're like 2 years old. Now the other kids, we had a blast because I had like the spray bottle, and if the kids were hot, I'd be like, "You want me to spray you?" And I sprayed them, and then I dropped it, and they were chasing me around with it because I was like, "No." But it was fun, like to be like, it was fun just to play with them. I love kids. Sorry, guys. I love little kids. I love big kids. So much to learn in this world. There's so much. There's so many things behind this whole thing, and I have a best friend that's Chinese. Her name is Han Zhao, and she moved back over to China, and she talked about coming back here to visit, but I kind of feel like she should stay there, honestly, because I don't know, like she's small. I don't want someone to try to hurt her because I might have to kill them. Like I don't know. I would never kill anyone. I mean, I would make them regret that they even existed, but it's just wrong. We all need to stand together. We all need to love one another. We need to come together as a person. Yes, I can't believe Principal Nezu freaking saw me getting pounded by All Might like that. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? He's always gonna see me like that now. I feel like he's gonna oh gosh. I don't know. I know I'm gonna shift back there right away because I don't have a choice. I promised Principal Nazu I'll be back, so it's like, oh, I can't skip out now. I really want to skip out, but I can't. I have no doubt that Principal Nazu might chew me out. So at the beginning of the video, I put new level of madness, okay? And those ponds. So every part of my thumbnail always tells like most of the whole story, but I try and do it in a secret way. I feel like this whole time, this thing between me and Toshinori, from the time we met, um, from my first encounter with him when he thought I shot someone, from my second encounter with him at the awards ceremony, there's that. I feel like I've been a pawn in his game the whole time. I feel like this is his universe. This is his world. He said Principal Nezu would be okay with that, being me. Principal Nezu didn't get angry. He didn't even mention anything about you bringing your personal life to school. He didn't chew me out. Um, Toshinori knew my favorite fruit. How did you know my favorite fruit? He knows I love blueberry muffins. Then he goes, they don't have blueberry, they have blackberry. Because he knows I love blackberry. And he managed to do that. He knows I don't drink regular milk. I told him, I don't drink regular milk. And he had almond milk for me. Vanilla almond milk too. Isn't that all too coincidental? And then that room was his office, that place. Um I remember that room specifically not being anywhere good. And he made that place an office for him. So is he trying to like make me feel a certain way? And does he like my yeah, well I know he's twisted like that and sick anyway. In that way to where he'd be enjoying that. Being somewhere unpleasant, me like trembling from fear. I was already shaking. Okay. Now they probably turned him on even more. Anyway, yeah, right on top of his freaking desk. Are you kidding me? It's like, oh my gosh. That's what I gonna do. Oh, what am I gonna do, guys? I don't know. I'm gonna bring Principal Nezu a gift when I go back there. Maybe I'll bring him like a strawberry shortcake or something. I have no idea what he likes. I think if one of you guys said tea, right? Principal Nezu was way too nice to me. I'm sorry. He didn't like flash me a look. He didn't. I mean, even that time with Endeavor, when I was, remember what happened outside? Yeah. Until you know he playing with me under the table. Even though it wasn't really Endeavor, he still had a look like what the F are you doing? Like a freaking villain son, what the F are you doing? Like their whole thing was, oh my gosh, guys, isn't this crazy? It's crazy, right? So I want to try to shift to and the reason I keep looking up, I have a picture of this. I'll just show you guys. Chupachara is here. It's on my wall. Ah, got it. Oh, my camera isn't blurry. There you go. You guys remember this show? This was so freaking cute. Yeah, I have pictures of stuff on my wall. I have Shinku over there. I have Kaname and Yuki Cross over there. And I have who else do I have on my wall? I have this I have other stuff on my wall. I have other anime stuff on my wall. But this specifically, I'll put it back when the video's over. It's almost over. This is where I would like to shift to next if I can. I just wanted to set up a VR. I have to do something fun. I have been feeling like that lately. I've been exhausted, tired. Oh, and I have to shift back there again tonight. Damn it. I have to shift back there because Principal Nezu is expecting me to come back. So you guys might get another video tomorrow. I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm not going to let myself get pounded like that again by Toshinori. He did not care either. He did not care like about loudness, about anything. And the way he touched me while he did it. He knows me. He knows what I like, and I can't. He knows me too much. He knows too much. He's in control. He's too much. He's in too much control of this place, of this universe. I think I'm gonna test it out. When I go back there, I'm gonna go back when he's sleeping. That means I would have to shift twice. Damn it. No, I can't shift there twice in one day. I'm not gonna do it. Cannot do that. I think that I want to see if he still has his tranquilizer in that drawer. I'm not gonna use it. I just want to see like if anything's changed. I feel like I was a pawn this whole time in the game, and everyone else was pawns too, like Batgum and all them. And then in the second video, the award ceremony, yeah, I was definitely a pawn in the game. Like he came after me, guys. He got me. He got me. I don't know how long this video was, guys. Oh my gosh. I can't believe Principal Nezu freaking saw us. I can't believe he didn't like come in and just close the door. That would have been so much better. If Principal Nezu had just came in and then just closed the door right after, like shit. And then I could have said, damn it. And it would have felt more, instead of him like, oh, okay, just like nonchalantly, like just relaxing and just chilling outside of the door for when after I come out. Did that mean that he heard me too? Probably heard me climax. Oh my gosh. He probably heard my orgasm. Pretty sure he heard my probably heard Toshinori's too. Toshinori wasn't really quiet either. But then that's probably my fault for like waiting all this time. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I go back next time. Oh my gosh. Anyway, dang it. So tomorrow I guess you guys will be getting another video. I have to go back there. And then maybe I'll try to shift to Shugochara. Maybe I'll try to shift there Sunday, so maybe you guys will get another video on Monday. Maybe. Shouldn't think about that, but I really love this is like the second anime I watched. Oh, Toshinori over there, don't fall down. Toshinori, my love, he's behind me over there. Yeah, he's next to the medic. He looks like he's about to like slip and fall. Anyway, I think it's time for me to end the video. I don't know how long it was. It's probably so long. Or it wasn't long. Maybe this video is actually pretty short. You never know. All right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to give my video a like. Don't forget to don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified of when the other video is available tomorrow. And I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank all of you guys for watching. Um, don't forget to join my Discord and check out my Twitch. Check out the people who I follow on Twitch because I need to follow. I need to go back on there and see what MaidSpare is doing. Like I said, she has mommy's milk. Um, and then Francis, I don't know where he's been. And I know XhaleTV, they're going to be going on again soon. They're just waiting on their new PC to drop, so it should actually, they said it should be here soon. I can't wait to watch their videos again. Their videos are so fun. Like I laugh, like I'm watching them like take people down, but I'm also laughing because of what they're saying to each other. It's freaking hilarious. If I want to have a feel good mood, I just go to them and I watch theirs. For MaidSpare, when I want to see something cute and fun, I usually go to her and watch her play. And I'll usually like write and say hi in the comments. And she'll be like, "Oh, hi, Cotton Candy." Now she's also in the Honey Tea Maid Cafe with me. I told you guys she's our dance coach. So this year I decided I'm gonna be and I'm still working on my cosplay. It's from Yandere Simulator. I'm gonna be Magical Girl Pretty Miyuki. I hope that my I hope that my cosplay turns out right. I'm still working. I'm nowhere near done. I haven't even actually started. The whole problem is I work so much. I just don't have time. I don't know what to do about that because I work full-time hours. But I'm like a part-time person. So I think that if I want, I can easily get overtime. I can. It's just they're just going to require more work. Already exhausted. Have to figure out something. But I'm gonna get that whole outfit put together. But like, I don't think anyone's gonna go as Magical Girl Pretty Miyuki. I'm so excited this year for the Honey Tea Maid Cafe. Even though we're not allowed to serve food or anything, we don't even have a clear bag policy anymore either. Oh, I'm sorry guys. This video was supposed to end. So and I just kept rambling on. I'm so sorry, but if you guys are gonna be in the Honey Tea Maid Cafe this year, if you're going to the Anime Con and Anime STL, put the comments below, say hi. I'll look for you there. You might see me. You probably will see me because I'll definitely be there this year. It's the only time I can really get away. Like that's gonna be like my mini vacation, even though I'm gonna be like technically working. But do something you like, you'll never work a day in your life. And honestly, it doesn't feel like work to me. Say bye, Lysaris. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Like I said, hit the notification bell so you're notified the other videos. Please give me a like. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys. Bye. Thanks for watching.